Pleasure to be here. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, everyone, distinguished guests, for having me on this occasion, and maybe even more for creating this occasion, both due to the program and also to the decision to actually evaluate it. Sorry, I'm trying to take away some things. So I'm not going to spoil the results that will be described today by the honorable academic from Korea, so I'm not going to talk about the results of this experiment. I'm going to talk a little bit about the rationale for such a project, and what we know about it from experiences around the world and what we don't know. So I think it's useful to remember that the advent of artificial intelligence really puts us, gives us the responsibility to radically rethink social protection. So what you're seeing here is actually a failure. I think it was an attempt to have a fully automated fast food restaurant, but actually I think it didn't work out. So they literally broke out. But I thought this was a nice illustration of a possibility of a world where a lot of the jobs that people are currently doing will disappear. The first IT revolution led to polarization of jobs. So what happened is that computers could replace routine jobs, but not the creative jobs on the one end or the non-routine jobs on the other end, which led to a hollowing out of the middle of the job distribution. So what you're seeing is that the tasks that are very manual, like for example making hamburgers, are the tasks that require a lot of creativity. For example, at that time being a coder or being a manager continue to be important, but the tasks in the middle, clerical jobs, etc., got replaced by computers. With artificial intelligence, there is a possibility that the hollowing out will be even greater, because more jobs are at risk of being replaced by automation. So we don't exactly know yet, that's why I put a question mark. I think this one is different, but the OECD find that 46% of the workers in OECD countries are in occupation that are at high risk of being replaced or fundamentally transformed by the advance of artificial intelligence. So these are people from coders to content generators to lawyers to people who write the commentary for sports games and things like that. And this is entirely new compared to what we have in the previous revolution. What this calculation is omitting is that the AI technology doesn't necessarily have to replace existing jobs. It could be a complement to existing skills. So maybe some jobs will disappear, but some other jobs will become more productive and easier to do. So it could be that some workers who lose their job, say doing copies for advertisement, will be employed doing something else, for example, dreaming up entirely new ways of reaching out to consumers. And the net effect is not clear. We don't yet know. Economists, in any case, are very bad at predicting the future. They are terrible at prediction. But artificial intelligence is actually something that they know that they don't know, which is real. So there is a panel at the University of Chicago that asks many experts what is their opinion on various questions. I don't belong to this panel because on most questions I just don't know. But the panel here says that basically it's very, very spread. And on most questions there is a fair amount of consensus among economists, whether rightly or wrongly. But on these questions of how much jobs will be destroyed and what will be the impact on labor markets, economists just don't know. I also don't know. I think nobody really in the right mind knows. But there is a possibility that it's a fundamental disruption that are going to uproot and dislocate very many people. And we can't know yet because the surge in AI activity is very recent. So we don't know what is going to happen. We don't know how bad it's going to be for developed countries and for developing countries where I work, where it is likely that a lot of the labor needs that today have moved from rich countries to poor countries are going to move from poor countries to AI. So this is pretty recent. It's only around 2014, as you can see on this graph, that the demand for workers with AI skills has exploded. What we do know is that a previous episode of rapid automation of tasks have led to an increase in inequality and have been bad for workers. One recent example is industrial robots, which have appeared in the US economy since about the 70s progressively. And since workers do not really move in the US, they tend to continue working within their same commuting zones, we can use a strategy where we look at whether a particular area is very exposed to mechanization, introduction of robots, to look at what is the impact on inequality. And what you can see here on the graph basically is more robots, fewer jobs. So in area that have an